Hello, I am your psychology educator, Vaishali Sharma, and these are certain things about myself. And if you want to join my live classes, you may contact on the number given below. Without any further delay, let's begin our topic. So, we have assessment of intelligence. In 1905, Alfred Binet, we don't call it Binet and we call it Binet. Okay, Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon made a first successful attempt to measure the intelligence. Okay, why do you want to measure the intelligence? You might be questioning कि भाई है इंटेलिजेंट है नहीं है हमें मेजर क्यों करना है अरे मेजर करना है to know where you stand. So first of all they devised a scale in which we had mental age. Mental age is the age of your brain, how it functions cognitively, and chronological age, which is your biological age. For example, if I am 20 right now, then how am I supposed to be in next 5 years? I will be 25 according to my chronological age, but according to my mental age, I don't know how much my mental age is going to grow. So William Stern gave the IQ whole formula. So in that formula, he gave MA upon CA into 100. Okay, then we have, if we have a bright child means a child who's intelligent, we will have more mental age of that child than a chronological age. And if the child is not doing so well in study, then we have more chronological age and lesser mental age. So then we came with the concept of retardation, which was like if you have very low IQ, then you needed to look into it. So this was the formula given by William Stern. Next, we come to normal curve. What is normal curve? So, IQ is basically distributed in the population. Majority of population lie, in my last lecture also I told you that majority of population lie between 90 to 109. Okay, 50% of the population lie in that. Most of the people fall in the middle part of the normal curve and then equally into the second and the third standard deviation. What is standard deviation, ma'am? So this is standard deviation. This is the average 90 to 110, and then you can see that the low average is equal to the high average students, borderline are equal to the superior school students, and intellectually deficient are equal to the very superior kids. So here is the whole table explaining the same thing. So high average is equal to the low average, superiors are equal to the borderline, and very superior is equal to the mentally retarded. Now, this was the study in which these two, Wilson and Grals, show that how a professional has how much IQ. So, top civil servants like UPSC holders and professors and research scientists have the highest IQ according to their research, which is 140. Insane, it's very much. So I also got my IQ test done. It was somewhere around 130 and more. I'll do it again. So next there is 130, that is of physicians, surgeons, lawyers and engineers. Then we have 120, which is school teachers, accountants, nurses and managers. Then we have 110, that is of clerks, telephone operators, salesmen, policemen and electricians. Then we have 100, which is of machine operators, shopkeepers, butchers and steel metal workers. Then we have 100, which is of carpenter, books, bakers and small farmers and truck drivers. And then we have 90 or below, or 90, just 90, that is of laborers, gardeners, miners and factory packers. But this IQ test has been proven to have been like misused. Why? Because if my IQ is such, doesn't mean that I cannot do the job of a carpenter. So we cannot just judge by a profession that a person might be having this much or low IQ because this person is a carpenter, or this person might be having this much IQ because this person is a surgeon. So we started this discriminating practices. भेदभाव करना किसी के लिए भी सही नहीं है, किसी भी तरीके का भेदभाव करना किसी भी जगह पे सही नहीं है. तो हमें स्टिग्मा और discriminating practices under the name of IQ nahi karna hai, and that is how the misuse of the intelligence tests happened. But we will not do the same. With that, I have completed today's lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.